I thought God might be calling me to be a priest, and that terrified me. For as long as I can remember, I have craved predictability. My family would predictably go to Mass on Sundays. We'd predictably pray in the evenings. I'd predictably go to school, predictably play hockey in the fall. And this carried over to many of my hobbies and pursuits. I loved the predictability of electronics and of computers. You'd program a computer to do something and it would predictably do it. I spent a lot of time, probably far too much time, of my upbringing programming games and doing different things on the computer and playing with electronic circuits and learning about how all of that works. And I very much enjoyed that. And that carried me into a study in engineering and computer science. And again, what's this all about? It's about predictability. You predictably carry through the equations, bring them to the lab, and you know roughly what's going to happen. And I thought I had my life basically mapped out. I'd get an engineering degree, get computer science, get a job, maybe get married, and go through life. Predictability. But then I started to get more and more into my faith. I joined a campus Catholic organization called Catholic Christian Outreach, tremendous organization, and it led me deeper and deeper into my faith. And the Lord started to work on my heart. He started to give that very gentle and at times annoying tug on my heart. And it kind of freaked me out. I remember one time going to a wedding of some friends of mine, and I thought, I'd enjoy the wedding and it'd be a lot of fun, and it certainly was, but I remember watching my friends get married up there before the altar, before the priest, before all of us in the church, and I had this strange sensation that I was more attracted to what the priest was doing than what the couple was doing. And that upset my predictability. I did not see that coming, and it terrified me. And over again, what would happen is I would be going through life, and then God would do something like that, and it would just make me think again, and it would set me back, and I would kind of shrink away from it. And then I'd forget about it. And just as I'd forgotten about it, I'd hear a talk, or I'd be talking to a friend, I'd be praying, and this feeling would come up yet again, and again, and again, over several years. And eventually I couldn't ignore it anymore. God was calling me to something. And eventually I started to work for this organization, for Catholic Christian Outreach. They'd done so much for me, I wanted to give a year back. And I was working for this organization, and I finally had time to think and know where to hide. And so I entered seminary. Now, seminary was in many ways a tremendous experience for me, real homecoming in many ways, but yet the idea that God could be calling me, as flawed as I am, to be a priest, still terrifying. So finally, halfway through seminary, I went on a parish internship here, and I spent a year in several small rural parishes, and it was a tremendous experience, exactly what I needed. But I remember the day when it all kind of crystallized in my mind that yes, God was actually calling me to be a priest. And it involved pig ears. So basically, my pastor and I went out to this family home, and we were going to make something called head cheese, which is kind of a form of sausage that you make from a pig using parts of the head of a pig. I'm not going to get too deeply into it, but basically my exalted job in this process was to prepare the ears to go into the mix, into the boiling water, and for this head cheese, for this kind of weird sort of a sausage. And it really struck me as I was preparing this pig ears for this head cheese that, you know what, I was exactly where God was calling me to be. And that this predictability that I craved, he was calling me to so much deeper than that. that the predictability would not be found in what I was doing per se. It would be found in him. It's hard to get anything more wild than preparing pig ears for head cheese. But God was calling me to find my safety, my security, my predictability in him, in his call, in his eternity. And I'm still working on it. Believe me, there are times I totally am not a saint by any means. He's still very much working on my heart. But I found that I was home. And on Friday, July 13th, 2007, I was ordained a priest of Jesus Christ for the Roman Catholic Diocese of Saskatoon. And it has been a blessed adventure. Now, I've had to learn a lot since then, and I continue to learn a lot. I mean, this priesthood is a continual process of learning as I also grow to serve the people of God. But one of the things I've become convinced of in my heart of hearts is that Jesus is my safety. And I'm continually reminded of that and continually learning about that and growing in that. But Jesus is my safety. That predictability that I've craved all my life, it's found in his heart, in his calling, as he leads me through this life and hopefully by his grace to eternity. So in what do you find your safety, your security? May we learn together that it is ultimately in Jesus Christ, because not even death can hold him down. He's the God of life. He's the God who walks with us, who promises that he will be with us always to the end of the age. Jesus, I trust in you. Teach me to trust in you more.